Hello everyone, welcome to my first knife review slash overview. Today we're looking at the Rockstead Higo. It's kind of obvious since you clicked on this video. I'm actually trying to get video filming and stuff set up right because it's my first time trying to do this. So I'm filming outside, so I'm at the mercy of the sun and the clouds. So here, take a little peek at this thing. Let me look at the handle frame. This is one of the coolest things I found about this knife is that just you don't have to have the fancy materials to get beauty out of it. This embodies beauty of simplicity, or beauty and simplicity, rather. Alright. Let's look at the blade. Alright. See how it is a wonderful mirror polish. See if I can wipe that off really quick. Alright, sorry about that. There we go. That's much better. Look at that. See my finger in it perfectly. I mean, it is a mirror, a true mirror polish. It isn't, it's not like a buff blade that's purely buff, and it's just, you get that weird, distorting effect like in a fun house. I mean, this one is just like, it is what it is. I mean, look at that. It's awesome. I love it. I love it. I just love looking at this knife. Let's see, the handle material is duraluminum. It's no surprise there. Some people knock the knife, or Rockstead, because it's not titanium. And I don't understand why. I mean, I understand it's a cheaper material, but you still have to work it. I mean, this finish is awesome on it. I mean, you're letting the light dance with it. It's not about material cost. It's never really truly about material cost. It's only part of the equation. It's what you do with the material that's important. Let's get I guess the first negative out of the way. If you look at a pocket clip, alright, you see it's a pretty simple clip. Alright, and you also see some machining marks on the side. That's a knock against it. But on the flip side, I really don't care since it's on the clip. It's gonna get scratched and banged up, as you can see. I mean, there's scratches and stuff on it. And I've been using it a lot for the past 1.5 years since I got it. I didn't hesitate to use it on anything. It's a wonderful, wonderful knife. So, the clip, I wish it finished a little bit better. At least get rid of those machining marks. But that's really, really mine. I'd probably just do it myself with a file. I just never got around to it because I didn't think it was that big of a deal. So it's so minor. Let's see. Here's the centering. Perfect. Lock up. Nice and early. And then next knock actually is these frame jimpings, which do I even call them jimping? They don't do anything. You just slide off of them. But the actual jimping on the spine of the stock is very good. I mean, it's you can see my finger's not really sliding forward past the thumb studs, so it's doing what it's supposed to do. Alright. Oh man, look at that. Let's see if I'll just leave this out here to observe the sky. Get that fingerprint off. I should have brought a rag out here. I totally forgot how much of a fingerprint magnet this is, and it's normally a very photogenic knife. There it is. Let's look at a little paperwork. Should resolve a lot of the questions. So when you get from Rockstead, you get a nice wooden box. Let's see if I put it all together for you. Like this. You open it inside. Here's the paperwork inside tucked in there. It's a really nice little box. Foam. Knife goes in there. There's actually a paper sleeve over it. So, pretty cool packaging. I like it. Alright. Specifications. So, the blade is DLC coated. Alright. It is a true DLC coating. That's what gives it such a nice finish. Besides just I mean, they have to really polish the blade up, and then they coat the DLC on it. So, they're not cutting corners on that at all. I mean, you see how awesome the finish it is. The blade steel is YXR7, excuse me, can't read today, and Rockwell at 64.1. That is pretty hard. You know, handle material is duraluminum. I mean, most knives don't see over 60. Though with the newer powder metallurgy stuff like M390 and LMAX, you know, those things like to be at the, you know, the 60 plus range. Here's the stuff in metric if you want to look at it. But, you know, assuming you guys are probably in America, you guys like imperial system, so I brought a ruler out. Or as my high school biology teacher liked to call it, a rule. Alright, let's see if I can move it up a little. Get out of the way. So you're looking at about 8.5 inches overall, 3.5 inch blade. Pretty standard. It's a very, very good EDC size, at least for me anyway. Let's see. Weight. Here is my scale. I'm sorry I don't have a cooler one, but it's what I have. And as it's barely past 4 ounces. So, you know, that saves a lot of weight. And honestly, like, a knife of this size will probably be a little bit over, you know, about close to about 5 ounces. So, you know, using duraluminum does save a lot of weight. And, you know, it's not really skeletonized either. I mean, the inside's, you know, pretty well finished. It's nice and smooth. I live in South Georgia, so there's a lot of gnats out here, so, you know, doing this for you guys. Alright, size comparison. Let's see. Okay. I'm sorry I don't have all my stuff together. First time doing this, trying to figure things out. Here is a Spyderco Paramilitary 2. Everyone should own one of these, because it is awesome. I may or may not do a review on it, but I think everyone else has done a review on it, so there's no point in me doing this. So you can see, it is more or less the same size, you know, let's see what you take to move the lanyard away. Yeah, it's about the same size. There's a little more cutting edge on a Rockstead. And, yeah, that's about it. So if you're trying to design a knife and you have something like a PM2, you kind of have a pretty good idea how it's going to carry and feel on you. So, more about the knife. This is one of my few knives that I get so excited when it's rotation. I've you know, my collection is pretty sweet, if I do say so myself. And I do rotate my knives pretty often, and you see more of it as if I continue to do this review/overviews. You see more of my collection. And this is one of the knives that I always look forward to carry because I know I can cut whatever it is. It would just bisect it, divide it, whatever. You know, insert a appropriate word. And it is a great cutting performing knife. You know, I love it. You know, it is so sharp, and it's one of the few knives I am actually afraid of accidentally cutting myself with. And I guess because of that respect, I haven't been cut by this knife yet. You know, the key word is yet. So you can see the trees and everything, and the lensing is actually from the convexing. You know, just there's many factors into why this knife cuts so well, and you know, a lot of that thing is, you know, the steel, the heat treat, you know, at the hardness it's at, the edge geometry, and the bevel geometry. You know, if you look at this, see how it's just how thin and acute it, you know, transitions into thick. So it's pushing aside material as it cuts, and it will cut really well. I mean, I don't need to do any cutting demonstrations. You can just honestly look at Rockstead. It's, you know, it's not just BS what they're doing. You know, a lot of people will buy this knife and look at it and put it up in a box and say, yeah, it's, you know, it's great, or put in a display case and say, oh, it's too pretty to use. I don't want to mess it up. It's at 64 Rockwell. It's covered in DLC coating, diamond-like carbon, true DLC. So which means the only thing I can really scratch it is diamond, which here, let's see if I can pull up the scratch I did put on there. There it is. See that one scratch right there? You can barely see it. Alright, right there where my thumb is pointing to. That's the scratch from the diamond when I was trying to sharpen this knife. Because I've used this knife enough to the point that I had to resharpen it, which I messed it up. And I was too impatient to use the Rockstead way, and I put on my KME sharpener and just dicked it up. That there's no two ways about it. And yeah, it was like, so I had to send it to Japan, and they fixed it up. I mean, and of course I used it since then. Let's see, focus. So you can see here's a little mark left from my sharpener that they couldn't take out. But I mean, they pretty much fixed it as if like nothing has happened to it. I'm sorry this thing is so hard to photograph and capture. But in the mirror, the edge is mirror. If you can see my, finger there, and I don't want to really slice my finger open on camera. So yeah, it is a wonderful user. Breaking down cardboard boxes. Food prep even. I love this knife for food prep. I mean, it is so fun to use. It seems silly, but just some days you just like, you know what, I want to see what this knife can do, and I just want to keep using this knife because it is such a pleasure to use, and that's what this knife is. And if you own one and you're hesitant about using it, use it. Just use it and enjoy it. You'll put a smile on your face every time, I promise. That's what it's done for me. That's what knives are. Knives are first and foremost tools, and you should enjoy your tools. Yeah, otherwise, why spend the kind of money just to look at it? It's not an art knife. It kind of is in a sense because it's simple and beautiful. It's a beauty and simplicity. But it's a knife. At the end of the day, it is still a knife. Don't hesitate to use it. If you're thinking about getting it, get it. Don't think about it, just do it. You won't regret it. I didn't. Honestly, if I could get a Rockstead, I would. I'm just trying to budget between my knife money right now. It is a wonderful, wonderful knife. I don't think there's a single person who owns a Rockstead that says that they're not a good knife. I really don't think so. Usually the critics are the people who has never seen these in person. They never really even held a knife. They never used a knife. And they're making armchair theories about knives that they've never seen in person. How much of that opinion are you going to trust? And that's, it's like having sushi but never had it before. Well, talking about sushi but you never had it before. And it's like, oh yeah, that stuff's disgusting. Well, I mean, how do you know it's disgusting if you've never tried it? Sure, Dr. Seuss read a book about that. Yes, green eggs and hams. So there, that's the moral of the lesson. I'm sorry I'm quite rambly, but this knife excites me. It is a wonderful knife. Kind of curious what I'll do next. It is pillar construction, so it's easy to clean. And it's built like a Savenza, actually. There's the backspacer here. Well, the pillar actually has it's just another, I guess, donut that's tucked on. Is a Savenza built like that? Was an Omnum Zom? Well, it's Omnum Zom for sure, because I don't have a Savenza anymore. And then washers, bushing, all phosphorus bronze. So this thing is quite smooth. I mean, it is quite miserable out there because all the gnats are loving me right now. I hate South Georgia because of that. But I don't have right lighting inside my house to do this comfortably. Torx hardware, your presentation side, nice little domed, nothing too fancy. But it doesn't need anything fancy. It'll take away from I guess the theme of the knife. I mean, it's plain and simple as it's really what they're trying to do. So yeah, let me wipe it off one more time, and I think I'm about ready to wrap it up. So if you have any questions about this knife, or if you wanted to ask me something that I forgot to cover, feel free to comment or even send me a message. I'll try to answer everything. Look at that beautiful sky. And this is close, it's getting close to 15 minutes. See if I can beat it. Oh yeah. Alrighty. Thank you for watching, and have a nice